The problem was the Dardanians, because the Dardanians would, almost on an annual basis, invade through Paeonia, going right by the city of Bilazora and the plains it looks over, and raid deep into
the idea of kings being gods.
Surely the ultimate example of Alexander's heirs seeing themselves as divine is to be found here in the remote mountains of eastern Turkey. A dirt track winds up to a vast mausoleum complex on the top of Mount Nemrut.
The creator of this place was King Antiochus I of Commagene, whose head has toppled down from his throne over there. He ruled the region about 2,000 years ago. The scene here says it all.
The headless statue of Antiochus sits seemingly on the roof of the world, indeed on the very threshold of heaven.
By presuming to seat himself among the gods, with the goddess of plenty on one side and Apollo on the other, Antiochus is in effect telling us that he is one of them.
And here he shakes hands with the god Apollo, as if they were equals. Now he holds on to her claim that this is Alexander's last resting place.
We know that Alexander had expressed the will be buried in Siwa. And it was not the will of a simple person. He was the will of a king and of a god. There are a lot of findings in Siwa. The star, 8-ray star.
The discovery of the two fragments forming this star are for Liana a key piece of evidence, resembling, she claims, the 8-pointed royal star of Macedon. Yes, it could have 8 points, but it seems to me there is no axis of symmetry needed for it to be a star. And then there are the newly discovered inscriptions, which she claims prove that this is Alexander's tomb, and furthermore state that Alexander was poisoned. Experts dispute this.
They say it is not written, the word poison. It is written here, EU. EU.
But this is the Latin personal name, Servius. Servius Sulpicius. This is part of
No. This is EU. This is not a name. EU. It's the poison.
So can you just tell us, because this is fascinating, what you think these words mean? Epi, seu, iu, sulpiciu. What does this mean?
Sulpicius, of course, it is a Roman name. But I told you, be patient and you will know everything. I hope very soon.
Well, what did I make of her, this current archaeological superstar? She's certainly a delightful woman, and I must say I admire her enthusiasm and fizz. The trouble is, it's precisely these qualities which make her the opposite of a dispassionate investigator. The bunker mentality here at El Meraki has resulted in the withholding of vital evidence needed if top experts are to contribute to the debate. Talking to her rapidly degenerates into a cat-and-mouse game, but I will say that what I heard in no way encourages me to expect an imminent discovery of the body. To give a precise example, she claims one of her inscriptions hints at the death of Alexander by poison. But specialists in Greek inscriptions would easily recognize in her word for poison part of the word Servius, a common Roman name.
Liana Suvaltsis is but the latest in a line who imagine feeling the power of being near the body of Alexander. But as always in this search, you never know what will happen next. The head of the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities certainly doesn't dismiss this location.
There should be something belonging to Alexander in Alexandria, but there is no there's no doubt that there should have been something for him also in Siwa. We didn't find the mummies in the tomb of the kings in Egypt, you know, in the Valley of the Kings. We found the mummies were stored somewhere else. So it's not necessary to find the mummy, but at least to be sure about the text.
Well, what has she found? An earlier study by the famous Egyptian archaeologist Ahmed Fakhri records a small Doric temple at El Meraki, and this is what Liana Suvaltsis seems to have rediscovered. But experts analysing the architectural details suggest a date for this at least a century after Alexander's death.
In fact, Liana Suvaltsis, through her finds, may unwittingly provide the key to the true identity of who was worshipped here.
This fragment has the Greek word for goddess, theos, followed by 2 letters probably from the beginning of the name Isis.
So it could be, in fact, that what we've got is a previously unknown temple to the Egyptian super-goddess Isis, nothing to do with Alexander. This god was to play a big part in Alexander's life.
For the Egyptians, Amun was the father of creation. The pharaohs ruled by his will and thanked him by adding yet more to this extraordinary complex. Right in the heart of the temple, we see Alexander himself assuming the role of a semi-divine pharaoh, making pious offerings to Amun, the god he'd learnt about as a child. The hieroglyphs say, Alexander is king of the south and north, chosen of Amun and beloved of the sun god Ra, son of the sun, lord of risings. One particular branch of this cult was much frequented by Greeks, the oracle of Amun in the western desert at Siwa. Alexander decided the world has ever known. Alexander the Great.